how I did this using this new combination of materials and technique. So I'm gonna use graphite pencils. I have the 2B, the 4B, and the 7B. That's it. And of course, my black pencil. This is the Cretacolor Nero Medium oil-based charcoal pencils. I also have my blenders and the brushes. I have the big brush and I have two small brushes. And then I have my erasers, of course, the regular kneaded eraser, and I have right here my electric eraser, and then my Polo Zero eraser for fine details. So you're gonna see how I'm gonna use this. And then the paper that I decided to use was this one, the Strathmore colored pencil paper for graphite. And then this is fine. And then I have my sharpeners. This is for the graphite, and then this regular handheld sharpeners for the Cretacolor. So I'm gonna show you how I did this. Watch this. Okay, so I'm gonna layer my base tone using this B pencil. And by the way, I forgot to mention the brand of my graphite pencil. Right here, this is my favorite brand. This is the Mitsubishi High Uni graphite pencils. I love this because these are very easy and very smooth to layer, as you can see right here. So I already have my outline using the technique that I usually do to create a perfect outline. This is like a tracing technique for the outline, but the most important thing here is to establish the shadow drawing, and what I'm doing here is a different kind of shading for the base tone, especially using the B pencil. This is like, as you can see right here, it's like a geometric style of shading for the blocking in of the shadows. This surprisingly is a lot easier to do compared to regular shading, because here I feel like it's a little bit more accurate in terms of getting the position of the shadows and the degree of the darkness of the shadow. Although I'm just using the B, I am putting a little bit, just not heavy pressure. This is just a light pressure, but I'm just going back and forth with the same pencil if I want to make some parts a little bit darker right here under the lips, and here on the jawline this is a little bit darker. So I just use the B over and over with little pressure, as you can see right here. So you can observe that it feels like she is a black American right here, because the skin tone looks a little bit dark, but trust me, this shading technique will surprise you. This is not dark at all. That's why it's very important to put a base tone for you to have to be able to establish a more three-dimensional look for your drawing. Shadows is very important. The degree, the values of the shadow is very important also. The contrast, the relationship between your darks and your lights should be emphasized on your drawing. Now this is the Cretacolor Nero. This is a very nice gauge because I use the B, which is my lightest pencil, and now I'm using my darkest pencil. This is the Cretacolor oil-based charcoal pencil, so it can produce very deeply dark and black details and shadows that the graphite couldn't achieve. That's why whenever I use graphite, I also have my dark pencil. So I have used several dark pencils, but this is my favorite, the Cretacolor. As you can see right here on the background, can you see how deep the darkness, the black that it produced? That I don't think even the 11B or the 12B of the graphite can produce such dark values. And other graphite artists use charcoal powder for those kind of darkness, but I don't want to use charcoal powder. I find it really hard to use, and I find it really messy. So if you want to achieve darkness, use the Cretacolor instead of the powdered charcoal. So you can see here, I have different shades of pencil. Right here, I use the 7B on this part. The other side, I use the B and the 4B. So now I'm emphasizing the importance of using different grades of pencils, because that will give you a more realistic look in terms of the three-dimensional of the portrait. So you cannot use just one or two pencils. But here I'm using only four pencils, three graphite and then the color. And as you can see for the base tone right here, when we put the background, can you observe that the skin tone becomes automatically, it becomes really nice and white. Unlike a while ago when we do not have the contrast or the darkness around the face, we can say that the skin tone is a little bit dark when we use the B, but now you can almost see the B shade right here. That's why I'm going in with my darker pencil, which is the 4B. So believe it or not, the B is already there, and it becomes really unnoticeable. It becomes very very light when we put the background. Now I'm adding more dark color or tone or the value for the skin tone using this 4B. As you can see, that's why I use three grades of pencils. I have the B. Now, when I have the B, I don't need the 2B or the 3B. I jumped already here to the 4B. And later on, you will see that when I have the 4B, you don't need the 5B or the 6B. I will jump directly to the 7B because I want a noticeable increase in values or in darkness when I use pencil. So it's very, if you have the B, don't get the 2B already. You will have almost the same value. So you jumped a little bit too farther from the grade. So the graphites has so many grades, you don't need all of them. As you can see here, I'm just showing you how this portrait is done only with 3 grades of graphite. The B, the 4B right here, and later on you will see the 7B. So in between layering, okay, layering is very important. It means that you don't need pressure to achieve darkness. You layer after layer. So if you're not satisfied with the darkness that you're getting, just layer lightly and then blend with brush and then layer again. That's like what I'm doing right here. So layer and then brush and then erase if needed. So 4B, as you can see, it's a very huge leap from the darkness of the B that I put a while ago for the base tone. But here, as you can see, it becomes darker and darker as I layer and layer over one another. Right here, I'm using soft brush if I want very light blending. Because this pencil, if you haven't tried this is a very smooth pencil to use. So you don't even need any other blenders. Just soft brush, huge brush, and 2 small brushes will do. Now I decided to just layer some dark tones on the lips and even the details of the lips, and then I'm brushing again. So don't forget to layer and then brush afterwards to keep it really nice and smooth. Now it's time for the 7B. So I have my B, my 4B, and now the 7B. So it's supposed to add deeper darkness for the selected areas only. So it's important that you have your values based on your reference photo using different darkness of pencil. So I can see that here on her eyes right here, it's a little the shadows because I think she's wearing makeup. That's why it's a little bit dark. Okay, so I'm using my 7B to create that darkness. And can you see the difference between the darkness of the graphite compared to the Cretacolor right there? As you can see on her eyeballs. And right here on the hair, right here, this is the Cretacolor. So can you see the difference in values? That is what you call contrast. You have to be able to develop that for the drawing to pop out of the paper, and it will not look what you call this flat. So her eyebrows is super dark. That's why I use Cretacolor, and even for the eyelashes. So graphite, even if we use dark graphite, I could not be able to achieve this kind of darkness. That's why I use this Cretacolor Nero oil-based charcoal pencil. It really works well with graphite, maybe because this is oil-based, unlike any other charcoal pencils, which is powdery and too dark for my taste and very hard to use and to blend. So now I'm going back to the 7B to achieve darkness for some areas right here. This is the shadow of the nose right here, under the nose. That is a little bit darker, but not as dark that I would use a Cretacolor for this. This is the 7B. It can achieve this kind of darkness. I have 3 levels actually of darkness: the light tones, I have the mid tones, and now the 7B is producing the dark shadows, but not the very dark shadow that the Cretacolor would produce. That's why I don't choose basically the Cretacolor for the majority of the skin tone, only for the hair, the nostrils, as you can see, that's Cretacolor, and then the eyeballs, and then the hair, and then the shadow under her arm right there. And here on the ear, I use the Cretacolor because the folds of the ear is a little bit dark, and even here there are shadows on the lips that are quite dark. That's why I use Cretacolor, and then I blend it. Surprisingly, even if Cretacolor is oil-based, it's very easy to blend by just using soft brush right here. So I'm using 2 different brushes, small brushes. I have 1 big brush and then 2 small brushes. The one brush is for the darker shadows, and the other brush is for the lighter shadow, because I don't want to be using the brush that I used on darker shadows on the lighter shadows, so it will just make everything dirty. This is my dark brush right here. I use it for the dark shadows because all of those what you call this charcoal from the Cretacolor and from the 7B are there on that brush, so I want to use that on dark shadows. That will help in achieving really nice dark shadow. Now for the hair, I use Cretacolor, but I don't put pressure using the Cretacolor to achieve darkness. I do this again using layering. So I layer right here, and then I blend using my dark brush, and then I layer again. So patiently until I achieve the darkness that I needed for the hair using this Cretacolor. So majority of the skin tone I use graphite, and for this the hair I use the Cretacolor. It's very nice to use directly. You layer it directly on paper. You don't need charcoal powder for this. And by the way, for those who are asking on how you can support my channel, you can easily do that through Super Thanks, and the link is right there below. And any amount that you can share to support my channel will be really appreciated, and it will go a long way for me to continue with this channel, with this kind of drawing tutorial for you. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you.